If you are surprised that Trump won,
You stupid.
you I ain't gonna call you stupid.
I am.
I'ma just say you are not as outside as what you think. If you are surprised that Trump, and then he didn't just win, he swept her ass.
312, 226.
He swept her ass. Literally, the map is almost all red.
Right.
California, New York, a couple states underneath.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the rest is red. Fact of the matter is that the Democratic Party lost because they have not been paying attention to people. They have been catering, they've been catering to the corporate, the elite, the lobbyists. Fact of the matter is that nobody has been listening to the people in a very long time. People are tired. People are not stupid. We are in 2024. You cannot buy out the online media stations, control mainstream media, get a couple celebs and a couple fake activists and paid out advocates to tap dance in front of us and think that we cannot see through the bullshit. People are so tired. Now, personally, I voted for Jill, so let me just get that out the way.
Jill Scott?
I voted for Jill Stein. Lord Jesus.
Hey, my bad.
I ain't gonna call you a nigga, because I'm trying to do better on that word right there. But nigga, what the hell? Anyway, I voted for Jill Stein because she would have been the best presidential candidate for this country. Unfortunately, it's a controlled two-party system. Yeah. But the fact of the matter is that y'all talk about some people, they wasn't ready to see a woman, and they didn't want to vote for her because she was black, and it ain't got nothing to do with none of that. Now, some it do. You know what I'm saying? But the fact of the matter is that our everyday lives have been trash. Somehow, y'all have convinced yourselves that if Kamala got in and the Democratic Party won, then we were going to be saved. No, we were not. They were constantly fear-mongering about Project 2025 and about what Trump was going to do, at the same time not presenting things that was going to combat that.
Right. Because they could have had the same agenda. Nobody would have known.
I wanted you to finish. I feel like all of that, whenever I see things like this and they're obvious, I always go to myself and say, okay, well, this is obvious.
Everybody got to see it.
But it's not for some people. It's amazing.
But that's what I'm saying. So then I ask myself the question, right? I ask myself the question, right? Why? Right? Like, why? If this is so obvious, if they're doing it right in front of our face, like, and it's like, oh yeah, we just gonna play right here in front of these niggas.
Because they're conditioned.
Right? And so that's what I'm about to get to. So why? What's the why? So the only thing that I could say, I agree with you, everything that you said, line by line, word by word, except for this one, that the Democratic Party lost. No, they didn't.
You think they threw the election?
The Democratic Party put themselves in a win-win situation. Listen, Joe Biden, when Joe Biden, yes they did, watch. Joe Biden, Joe Biden, when they seen that he wasn't going to generate what they needed to be generated, they forced Joe Biden out, right? So now, why did Joe Biden get forced out? Okay. Now I asked this question, and I stopped talking about politics after I asked this question to a couple of different people. Because then I figured out real fast that we weren't talking about politics, we were talking about race. Mm-hmm. They said, oh, we got Kamala. My bad. Kamala. We got Kamala. It's on. We ready. Let's go. Let's go.
Thing.
My response to that was, okay. But I don't think that she's the most qualified person for the position.
They didn't either. The DNC never even backed her.
That's what I'm saying. Let me finish. So then I'm saying that, and then I'm getting jumped on like, oh.
You got a third phone?
So
turn that shit off.
Yeah, trap star. So she's not the most qualified person. How? Black woman, you know, what that means that black women ain't qualified. I'm like, wait a minute.
It's never the facts.
Hold on a second. Time out. How is this possible? How? Okay, so let me clarify now today, because I don't want to just argue with one or two people over and over again about the same thing. Let's have this conversation, right? Since 1968. Now, notice these dates. I'm saying these dates on purpose. All of these times come together. Since 1968, there has not been a party that hasn't nominated their delegate without using a party system where people are voted, where they do where there's a group of candidates that debate against each other and they argue on who's the best qualified, and then the people from each state promote whoever their delegate is, and then we make a choice as a country on who that person that's going to run. Right. This hasn't happened since 1968, right? So a person that was 21 in 1968 would be 77 years old now. So the majority of the people that are out here that are educated, that are voting, have never been a part of an election where the candidate wasn't chosen by the people.
All right.
This was the first time.
It was chosen by the money.
Why all of a sudden, it's been almost 60 years that this process has been going on. This is what we all know. All of us know this system. We all know the system. Now all of a sudden, it's like, wait a minute, no, we're not going to do this system. We're going to do the convention system where we're going to come into a meeting and we're going to pick the candidate. The Democratic convention, they came together in a room and said, oh yeah, we're going to pick the candidate. Well, what was the discussion?
It was, hey, who can use this money that we built up for Joe Biden? That's what the discussion.
That's what I figured it out.
What's going to be the easiest? Right. We didn't get a vote in this. Whether you feel like it was a coup or whether you feel like, because let's be honest here.
If she was able, wait, I can't say that, because if she was able,
I didn't say it was a coup. I said whether you feel like
to go through the debates and qualify herself as the last person standing, where we all had the decision to all say, okay, we chose, hold on, we all chose.
No, that's the process.
Well, that's the process. Where we all chose, then guess what?
Process.
If she goes through that process.
That's what he's saying. It wasn't a process, and it normally is a process where she has to win the nomination.
But normally, with me only doing 4 years, I'm going to run again and try. But guess what? I can't run because I'm fucked up.
No, that's what the story is.
We had a weekend at Bernie. What happened is we was in a real live. What happened is we was in a real live weekend at Bernie's for these past 4 years, and they could no longer hide it. Nigga, what? They could no longer hide it anymore, to the point where they had to do something about it, but he had already won the Democratic nomination. Mm-hmm. Instead of them actually going through the process, it doesn't matter though. It's still, they're still supposed to nominate somebody. Yeah, they're still supposed to go through the process. He went through the process, and they waited to the last minute where they knew it wasn't quote unquote enough time to go through the process.
But no, the point is,
they knew that 2 years ago.
They knew it, right?
You know what it was? It's fighting a girl. Let me explain that. Let me explain my stance on that. If I get into a fight right now, it don't matter how big this lady is.
Don't cancel him.
If I get into a fight with a girl, I lose either way. Right. If I beat this girl up, all right, let me use a different one. If I get into a fight, I'm sorry. If I get into a fight with a gay dude, if I get into a fight with a flamboyant homosexual man, right? No matter how big he is, small, if I beat him up, they gonna be like, bro, you beat up a gay dude.
Yeah.
If he beats me up,
but you got beat up.
You're in a lose-lose situation.
Her winning that for the Democrats, when you say they won, this is how they won. There's no way we're gonna win this. Let's put him in the fight against her.
Right.
If he wins, America wasn't ready for a black woman. America wasn't ready for a woman.
They got a narrative.
Right. If he loses,
he weak.
No. The country's changing.